If you've seen this mug in Malaysia recently, you are not alone. That is the face of one Bruce Gilley, a professor of political science at Portland State University, and also Princeton alum. Oh my god! Not. Basically, Brucey Boy was supposed to deliver a talk called Will Malaysia Become an Active Middle Power at the University of Malaya? And that's where he went, and made it into a national disgrace. On April 23rd, he eventually gave his talk where he declared a Malaysia that actively promotes a second holocaust against the Jewish people will never be an accepted leader in global affairs and will certainly never be a partner, much less a friend of the United States. Brucey Boy has since skedaddled out of Malaysia, saying that it is not a safe country to visit, which by the way was refuted completely by the US Embassy. But not before he started a GoFundMe campaign because he's a horrible academic that can't make money.
But then, you might say,
he's standing against anti-Semitism. Now, if you're looking at this from afar, you might think to yourself, this is a man fighting for justice? But then when you hear this, you immediately realize that there's something wrong. Like anti-Semitism? Like hating the Jews? That's what the Holocaust Museum says, right?
as a Malaysian,
As far as I know, most people don't care whether you're Jewish or you're not Jewish. What they don't like is Israel. Now, I'm gonna admit, sure, you might see some anti-Semitism in Malaysia, usually from people who are like socially poorly adjusted and stuff like that.
but by and large, what you see in comment sections in Malaysia, here, there, and everywhere,
That's a whole different thing. It's called anti-Zionism, bro. Do you know what Zionism is? Oh, wait. No, surely you must know. You're a professor from Princeton. Yes, Princeton. The school of Jeff Bezos, Sonia Sotomayor, and Alan freaking Turing, the inventor of computing. He goes to Princeton. He must be right, right? But no, my friend. You're looking at someone who graduated Princeton and doesn't understand anti-Semitism.
but don't take my word for it. Read what he writes.
Indeed, he goes, for the intellectually curious, I have posted a copy of the paper I delivered on Malaysia's foreign policy with the offending sentence highlighted. The official response has reinforced the conclusion Malaysia is not fit as a serious foreign actor. I mean, it's nice that you took the time to highlight that one sentence. Maybe it's because you realized that everything else inside it was drivel, unimportant, and boring. Is that why you're a professor at Portland State? Ooh, ouch. Portland State, you're great, but rest assured, this guy is not serving you. And so, having read your paper, Mr. Gilley, I must ask, in what way exactly did Malaysia's leaders advocate for a second Holocaust? Do you have a news article? Do you have a statement? Do you have proof? Like, you know, like that evidence, that data thing that you kind of have to use if you're actually doing research in any serious way? I mean, I know you got a PhD at Princeton, and I'm sure that they must have asked you to learn that, right? Right? Anyway, for Brucey Boy and for the rest of y'all out there, there is a difference between opinion and fact.
In my opinion,
When you read Brucey Boy's claim right there, it reads like a factual claim. A Malaysia that actively promotes a second Holocaust against the Jewish people. Is that not a factual claim? If it is a factual claim, then there needs to be evidence to back it up. I've been Googling and I have not found a single thing to back up anything you were saying. Which means that if you're trying to assert that it's a factual statement, then either you didn't do your research, which demonstrates incompetence, or you're lying, which demonstrates a lack of academic integrity. Wow, Princeton, you got a good one. Oh, but then, did you mean it metaphorically or hyperbolically or whatever your little Ponce hit declared? Okay, fine. Maybe we should look at context. You say the genocidal chant from the river to the sea became normal in Malaysian society, along with Israel Chuak. These are things that Malaysians do say, but then maybe because you didn't receive any education on nuance at Princeton, you didn't consider alternate interpretations, I mean, Brucey, have you ever thought that maybe people in Malaysia just don't like watching 40,000 Palestinian people die? I mean, sure, maybe you only watch Fox News and your entire personality is shaped by like a couple of statements that you read here and there on TikTok, which, oh, I'm sorry, is getting banned in your country, right? You conclude somehow that it's a genocidal chant. Maybe because your feeble mind is unable to process that maybe it just means that Malaysians aren't down with Palestinians being oppressed. It doesn't mean that all Jews need to die. It doesn't mean that there needs to be a second Holocaust. This is a very simple concept to understand. But somehow you make these sweeping assumptions, these horrible judgments that make me wonder whether you got your education at Princeton University or you got it at Little Princeton Kindergarten. What do you say again, Brucey? Malaysia is not fit as a serious foreign actor? Well, Brucey, you make assumption after assumption. You are naive. Play victim as an intellectual strategy, confuse opinion with fact, and your research, though to some extent factual, is ultimately uninteresting, irrelevant, if not for your saber rattling. So to respond to your assessment, Brucey, have you considered that maybe you're not fit as a serious professor? Whew. And at this time, I don't want to mock UM, I don't want to say you're horrible, you didn't do any background checks. Rather, I want to congratulate you. Because the fact is that a university is an institution that's meant for critical discussion and debate. It's a place where you're supposed to be able to find people that you disagree with and then put their ideas to the test. That's how we learn from one another. We disagree, we understand what we disagree with, and then from there, then we voice our opinions. Whether we like it or not, Bruce Gilley gave us that opportunity as a nation. The only problem here is that he was an idiot and he didn't contribute positively to any discussion out there, apart from the national consensus that he is an idiot. If you think about it, it really is kind of like Matty Healy when basically the 1975 played at a Good Vibes festival, except the academic version. You want to remember that? Because it's exactly the same thing. You call in somebody that you thought was going to give you the entire universe. You believe in them and you thought that they were going to do something great for you. And if they had just played their role, then they would have. But instead they throw this kind of nonsense at you and tell you, oh no, it's your fault and you're the problem. Mr. Gilley is famous for talking about how colonialism is actually a good thing. And these are exactly the kinds of ideas that you should be challenging as part of your education, as part of learning critical thinking, debate, and discussion. But what Mr. Gilley did was perpetuate falsehoods and lies. No, UM, you are not the problem. You were performing your responsibility to create a student body that was capable of critically processing ideas that they don't even agree with in the very first place. Why should you apologize for doing your duty? If they force you to apologize and you do for some reason, just know you are not in the wrong. Great job. Of course, this is not a license to endorse people spreading fake information and also opinions that are not substantiated with evidence, which is unfortunately what happened right here. But I don't think that a background check would have yielded that he would end up making a statement so catastrophically stupid as what he did in Malaysia on that fateful day on the 23rd of April. All things considered, the man is a man with a Princeton PhD, and we all know how hard a person has to work to be able to get that qualification or to be able to attend an institution of that standing. But I think it also offers something important for us to reflect on. If you act like an idiot with no common sense whatsoever, you don't get to say, but I went to Princeton. No, brother. You're just the idiot who went to Princeton.